Jay McLean, baby. Esther, earlier Kings and Queens. He goes by the name of Adote Bing Papo. And he is going to be speaking to us about the value and the importance of cooperatives and cooperative economics. First and foremost, let me just make sure that we can hear our brother clearly. Brother Adote, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Coming through gloriously, my brother. Coming through very, very
okay.
That's beautiful, my brother. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Ali Ma'at and Nat Nai in terms of going forward. But as I leave you, just introduce yourself to the people and let them know what it is that you do.
Okay, all right. As I said, my name is Adote Bing Papo. I'm a senior lecturer in economics at the University of Greenwich, and I'm also the secretary of the African Cooperative Union. So those are the two things that
okay. Now, Sister Esther spoke. There was a question I had for Sister Esther earlier on,
okay,
about cooperatives and whether are we seeing cooperatives now as the solution in terms of our present situation. So can you tell us a bit more what a cooperative is first?
Okay, all right. So just simply put, a cooperative is any group of people that comes together to pursue a social objective. Okay, that's the basic, covering, all embracing definition. So any people who come together to pursue a social objective. So it could be that there are many different kinds of cooperatives, which I will talk about in a minute, and how we can engage with it. But they're used all around the world, in Africa, in India, in Asia, in South America, all around the world, even in the United States, all around the world. People get together around different kinds of reasons. Sometimes they get together to buy things together. Sometimes they get together to sell things together. Sometimes they get together to consume, say, like finance, like credit unions. Sometimes they get together to consume accommodation, like housing associations. Sometimes they get together to work together. But that's getting into more detail. But generally, it's just any group of people that come together that are going to pursue a common social objective.
So we're saying cooperatives, it's not a new model. Is it something that as a people we've been a part of?
African people have been using cooperative methods for a long time. If I say to anybody today, box hand, partner, susu, that is a cooperative. That's a basic level kind of cooperative activity. Yeah. So we've been using it. We've been using that for a long time. African Americans have been using it for a long time. Across Africa, we've been using it for a long time. A lot of people don't know, but credit unions in this country were started by African people from the Caribbean. The first credit union in England was started by African people because they couldn't get a property to rent. They couldn't get money to buy their houses. So they used the susu first of all. Then they created credit unions back in 1964, and they used those credit unions to buy the houses. That's why you find different parts of London. You find like lots of old families own their houses. They did it by using the credit union system.
That's such a great point. I mean, and it's so unknown. I'm so glad that you mentioned it. Do you have the name of the African Caribbean that actually, or the African Caribbean?
There are two guys. One guy is called Bentley. Another guy is called Leslie Hines. These two people. One was in Hornsey. One was in Wimbledon. And these were part of the two first groups back in 1964 that registered officially the first credit unions in England. Not in Wales, not in Scotland, but in England.
Amazing.
It's interesting. My grandparents, when they came over from Jamaica, in the I think mid 50s, and when I speak to my grandfather, and he tells me the stories, and that's how they bought their house.
That's right.
They bought their house with the partners, because you're right, they couldn't get finance from anywhere. They had to just rely on, you know.
Exactly. So that's a story that a lot of young people don't know, you know. Yeah. And which we should know, and we should use, therefore, this way of organizing, because it's something that we know how to use. Sorry, yes, go on. Yeah.
Yeah. what I want to know, so that you know, if we learn from the past, we can create a better future.
Sure.
What happened? What happened to the intergenerational passing of that knowledge and the carrying on of credit unions and cooperatives?
Well, I mean, a lot of the credit unions were absorbed. You know, I mean, when English people saw the credit unions were powerful, they joined them. And so you have a lot of credit unions around, but there's some which have retained a strong African flavor. You know, you can go to different parts of London and you can see that there's, you know, there are credit unions which have got a strong African presence, and so there's still, people are still there using them. I talk to a lot of people about these things, and it's beginning again. The younger people are beginning again to think about this thing, yeah, about how they can use them. So it's coming up, but Susu is very strong, yeah. So credit unions and Susu are different, but they're all doing the same kind of thing. But Susu is very strong across the African community, you know, in this country. It's you know, yeah, and people are changing. People are mobilizing huge sums of money on that basis, you know. But to my mind, if you want to really grow and institutionalize something, then it's good to have the credit union form, which can allow you to really accumulate large sums of money. For example, just within the African community, the Pentecostal Church has one of the best, or the second best capitalized credit union in the country, yeah. And they have millions of pounds of reserves sitting as reserves, yeah. The Pentecostal Church. So it's a strong thing, but it's based on, you know, different credit unions are based on different elements. When we get to talk about what, you know, the African Cooperative Union, I'll explain what we're trying to do and how we think we can mobilize.
Can we talk about the African Cooperative?
Yes, we can, absolutely. So the African Cooperative Union has been in existence since 2014, and our job, from the word African, you can tell that's straight. Cooperative, that is where you're going to use all the different ways in which people cooperate to mobilize. So at the moment, we have a 4-part program, and I'll just briefly describe that to you, and then we can talk about how people can get into it. The first part is that we've created already something called a community investment fund. Okay, to join the African Cooperative Union, you have to buy shares. You have to pay £50 for every share. The £50 that you pay goes into the community investment fund. Okay, all right. So we're building up this community investment fund, and we're going to grow because people join, and we're also going to make it grow because we're going to invest the money in certain places. But the point of the community investment fund is that we will then use that money in that fund to finance African businesses who are members of the ACU to start or grow their businesses. Yeah. So that means that, so it's like a Susu, but it's a business. It's a Susu for business. Yeah. With me. And also but it's not like Susu, because you don't have to, you know, if we get thousands of people, we're not going to pass the pot around. What it is that when people need money, they apply for it. Yeah. That we need money to do X, they apply for it, and then they can borrow from that. So if we don't have a source of finance for our businesses, those businesses are going to have difficulty growing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No matter how excellent their service, yeah, no matter how knowledgeable the person, all right, if they can't raise money, right, to have a nice establishment, if they can't raise money to hire a nice place, if they can't raise money to make big purchases, they're not going to grow.
And these are some of the biggest challenges that we have.
Every African business is, if you need the support of yourselves, yeah, get into a group, all right. And as I said, the ACU is there. Get into a group, and then you will meet there other people. Then you can begin to talk about how you can do things to help yourself. That's the first big lesson, right? So you won't know this, but America, capitalist as it is, has got more cooperatives than any other country in the world, 30,000. Because the cooperatives, the American farmers use cooperatives to help them in keeping their farming system going. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the key thing. That's number 2. That's the lending money. The number 3 is that we are getting into the business of talking to the community about what cooperatives are about. So starting from next month, in fact, the third Tuesday of every month, we're going to run a webinar explaining to people, one, how to run a business, two, what are cooperatives and how they work, yeah, and three, what is the ACU. So we're going to do this because there is a lot of unclear understanding about what cooperatives really are and how best to use them. So that's our third element. It's training, business training, and the fourth element is that we're trying to create a nationwide credit union for African people in the UK. Let me explain. Let me unpack that a little bit. Okay, nationwide credit union for African people in the UK. Right. Why do I say nationwide? I say nationwide because most credit unions, you know, are restricted by geography. So we have Lewisham Credit Union, Croydon Credit Union, yeah? Or they're restricted by the church you go to. I talked about the Pentecostal church just a minute ago, yeah? Or they're restricted by who you work for, all right? So you have a Boots Credit Union, yeah? Or something like that. So those, but you don't have, it's very hard to get a nationwide credit union, right? But we have been in discussion with the people who are in charge of credit unions in this country, and we have persuaded them that we can set up a nationwide credit union. That's and how have we done that? We've done that by saying anybody who belongs to the African Cooperative Union can belong to the credit union.
Oh, I see.
The African Cooperative Union can take membership from anywhere.
Right.
And therefore, we can create a nationwide credit union.
Yes.
And therefore, we can have not tens of people or hundreds of people, but thousands of people in that credit union. Now, if you have just 1,000 people saving £10 a month, yes, in a credit union, you have £120,000 at the end of the year.
Yeah,
it grows. Yes, you got 4,000 people, you got almost £500,000 every year. You then have £500,000 or £100,000 or £200,000 to use to lend to people, okay, to do what they want to do. That's the first part. That's the nationwide bit of it. But our credit union is also going to be different because it is going to lend for business. Until 2012, no credit union in this country could lend to its members for business. Since 2012, that's been possible. So what we're saying is that we're creating a nationwide credit union that will lend for cooperative businesses. You with me?
Yes.
In fact, we had a webinar last Saturday, yeah, an international cooperative webinar, and one of the people who came to speak was the vice chancellor of something called the Cooperative University of Kenya. Kenya is the only African country that has a whole university that only studies cooperatives. And the Kenyan credit union system is one of the best in the whole world. It's the best in Africa, and their credit union's finance system is the 7th best in the whole world, right? And they use their credit union to finance business. The Kenyan credit union system has almost 3 times as much money as the UK credit union system.
Wow.
Because they are lending for business. Yeah. So money goes out, the money is made with it, the money comes back in, yeah, and it grows. 50% of Kenyan GDP comes from cooperatives of one sort or another, right? Half the Kenyan output. So what we're saying is that we have this 4-part program: the community investment fund, the loans, the business training, and the credit union. That forms the pillars on which we stand. And we're saying to African business people, there are many ways you can get together and cooperate and make yourself stronger, right? And the first way, as I said to you, is to do with money. Yes, pool your money, do what the people did who set up the first credit unions, yes, back in the 1960s. Pool your money, use your money as a source of finance. You need independent finance. Yes, you don't have it, you know you don't have it, you don't have a lot of it, find a way to get it. And we're offering a way for people to be able to do that. We want people to take that advantage, and then we can talk. You can also buy things together. Supposing lots of people are selling, I'm hearing people talking about all the different products they're selling. Where are they buying them from? Right? If they were to get together with other people selling similar products, they would get a better price for that product.
Yes.
Yes. So why don't they get together with their own people? Yeah? Why don't African business people get together and begin to order together in bulk?
Brother Adote, I'm so sorry, but yeah, we do have to move on. You know,
wow!
It's gonna be one of them days where I have to keep doing this. I'm gonna feel so bad every time I'm gonna do it. But you're dropping a lot of powerful information.
No, brother, you need to come back onto our show when we get
I'm very much there. I'm very much ready to do that.
Yes, bro. The importance of what you're dropping is so deep, because we need to be able to define ways to relate to each other in non-capitalist ways whilst operating within a capitalist economy, if that makes sense. I perfectly harmonize with everything that you've brought. So just finally, please let the people know where they can get in contact with you and the
African Cooperative Union is just if you put in www.africancooperative.union spelled with a K, that is African spelled with a K, then you will go to our website and you can join, you can pledge support for the credit union. We need that, because we have to show that people want this credit union before we're able to deliver it.
Yes, so
please go to the African Cooperative Union, join the African Cooperative Union, especially if you're a business, and pledge. There's a place where you can pledge your support for the credit union, and then we will move forward on that basis.
Thank you very much, brother Adote. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Certainly much appreciated. Give thanks for joining us.
Jay McLean, baby.
Are you black and proud? Are you cultured and know enough about your history to at least know you came from greatness and not slavery? Did you know that the wealthiest person in all history was a black man, Mansa Musa I of Mali, a 14th century African king? Black people are tired of feeling economically deprived. Have you ever felt that black people should have progressed in this country much more than we are currently? In fact, it seems like we're sliding backwards instead of moving forward. Are you tired of the lack of resources and feeling drained? Have you observed our communities being gentrified? Have you noticed our youth feeling like the elders never left anything behind for them? Now we have to start life from scratch. We are in a very depressed state as a result of all of these factors. We are creating an opportunity to empower our community to do something about this situation, using one tool that gives us a fighting chance: education. With our new show, we intend to help our audience to be informed about the economic state of the black community and its connection to their lack of money, to be educated to a new solution paradigm, namely group economics. Find outlets and resources to practice group economics. You will also learn directly from top scholars and entrepreneurs about the paths to success. Learn more about the history of blacks and the black businesses in the UK. Learn where black businesses are located in the UK. Learn the code of conduct for practicing group economics. Learn directly from top scholars and entrepreneurs about the paths to success. It's a 30-minute show hosted by Diana Powell. Each week, she'll start with a weekly introduction to group economics. She will then bring on top scholars such as Robin Walker to discuss a historical situation in which group economics played a part. The likes of Shell Phoenix to discuss black people's spending power and other spending behaviour. Next, Charmaine Simpson, who explores the mechanics of group economics and what black people should be doing now. Lastly, weekly, the audience is introduced to actual businesses in the community they can support right away. We invite you to tune into the Black Group Economics Business Show, the solution to the lack of money in the black community, every month on gotKushTV.